Welcome to the news at 4 on Canal English. I am Elie Smith. The headlines. The Anglophone crisis, and the Anglophones now have another vocal supporter. He is the person of Maurice Kamto. He came out openly during a press conference that he presided over yesterday, where he decried the numbness of the international community. Meanwhile, MOMO Division now has a new senior divisional officer. He was recently installed in Bangui, the divisional headquarters of MOMO. While in Gide, it is about urban transportation, which is in the works. What will it produce? Those were the headlines. We're beginning this with Yaoundé, where the leader of the opposition Cameroon Renaissance Movement, Professor Maurice Kamto, has expressed disappointment at the numbness of the international community following the crisis in the northwest and southwest region. Mr. Maurice Kamto made his declaration yesterday during a press conference, and taking part in that press conference was Beatrice Ngamo. More with her.
The international community is accused of remaining strangely silent as to what concerns the deadly crisis today termed the Anglophone crisis affecting the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Disappointments lashed out by the chairman of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, MRC Party, Professor Maurice Kamto, in a press conference April 3rd in Yaoundé.
There is no purely domestic human rights issue nowadays. When you are party to an international legal instrument, then you are party to a community which is entitled to watch and look at what is going on in your own country. And that is exactly what we are saying.
The MRC scribe says the United Nations Security Council inability to address the situation on grounds that it is not capable of undermining international security, and that the situation is a domestic matter under the control of the government is not just.
People have been killed. I'm really very surprised that in the debate in Cameroon now, nobody is referring to people who were killed in the northwest and southwest. They are our compatriots. And something must be said about their death. What happened that they were killed? Why were they killed? In what circumstances?
The MRC party head went on to cite indifferent reactions to the Anglophone sufferings.
The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, said, okay, although internet was cut off in the southwest and northwest region, they said, oh, we don't care because it will not change economic forecast of Cameroon. So can you imagine people saying that?
A part of the disturbing Anglophone crisis entering into the 6th month, the MRC chairman, Professor Maurice Kamto, talks also of his political life and the Black Cabinet determined to put him out of political competition. He used the press outing this day to repeat his message of confidence. Register massively, collect your card and vote massively in the upcoming elections to have a say with and by the polls.
To the northwest, where precisely in MOMO Division, where they have a new senior divisional officer. His name is Absolom Monono Woloa, who was installed by the governor of the northwest. He takes over from Ngong Justin Diedone, who has been grounded because of illness. He was recently retired and sent for medical treatment. More with Annette Efeti Esome and contribution from Anyi Collins Anyi from Bamenda.
45-year-old Absolom Monono Woloa is the new senior divisional officer for MOMO in the northwest region. The senior administrative officer has been installed by the region's chief executive with specific instructions.
I hereby enjoin the incoming senior divisional officer to mobilize all the stakeholders involved in order to ensure total and effective resumption of classes in MOMO Division. It's a SDO. In the political domain, we shall expect you to enhance democracy and the respect of human rights by honoring citizenship while ensuring at the same time the authority of the state and the observance of the rule of law.
In the welcome address, The mayor of Bangui, on behalf of the others, cried out against the recurrent chieftaincy and land disputes, especially the age-old Ngiembo and Bali land problems. The people are very expectant of the new SDO, who holds a bachelor degree in history and political science, a master in history, and is presently putting up a PhD thesis on administrative officers and land disputes in the Northwest region.
Well, the new SDO being a very young man and energetic, I know and I expect that he will be able to accomplish his task very well. There are a lot of chieftaincy issues here in MOMO Division, and we think that we're going to settle down to solve some of them and pull those that are already in the courts. There are many in courts, you'll pull them out. And then, of course, the development of the area, like Nki, where I come from, we expect him to be able to come down to the field and see some of the challenges we are facing and see how he can help us out of the situation.
Authority, I just hope that he will not be influenced by political big guns that will make him deviate from the original person I know he is. I just pray that he takes his level head and manages the situations of every municipality.
The governor's prescription and people's wishes have not fallen on deaf ears.
First of all, thank the Almighty God for His grace, for uplifting His humble servant. Secondly, to thank the head of state for his renewed confidence in my person. And as you rightly said, the governor in his installation speech did prescribe to me a roadmap, issues which he feels that if I handle will contribute in promoting, elevating the population of MOMO Division.
Having served as Secretary General at the Northwest Governor's Office since 2012, this husband and father of three from the foot of Manfako in Boya now has the opportunity to induce his own voice in matters of civil administration, especially the current Anglophone crisis.
From MOMO Division in the Northwest region, we are flying straight through the North region, precisely at Gide, where commercial bike riders will be meeting tomorrow, where at the office of the senior divisional officer for that part of Cameroon to receive lessons and also modalities or instructions on how to obtain driving license. More with Gladys Ambo Dibang.
This is Gide in the Mayoluti division of the North region of Cameroon. The particularity of this town with very high temperatures is that there are no taxis. Commercial motorbikes remain the only means of transportation, a sector properly organized by the Gide Council that obliges the rider to put on identification jackets. It was not easy to organize the sector, but we are sensitizing the riders. Every rider must have his documents, including the bike immatriculation number, the insurance policy, the pool tax, an identification jacket before being registered. This is the president of Sinamotak, a commercial bike rider trade union. He is at the council to collect identification jackets of some union members. The number on the jacket helps to identify the bike riders in case of problems. Once the jacket has been identified in case of a problem, we inform the council or trade union, and the person needs to own up or tells the council to whom he handed the jacket in order to facilitate the investigation. Administrative authorities count on this sector, just like others, for peace and cohesion in the Mayoluti division. A meeting to that effect has been slated for April 5 at the SDO's office to caution the bike riders on the need of obtaining a driver's license. The bike riders are hoping that authorities would organize training sessions to help them upgrade their skills.
from Mayoluti in the north, back here to the littoral, where at Manjo, 12 church elders and councillors were officially installed last Sunday, the 2nd of April 2017. For more, Lorian Gameni.
It is with songs of praise and worship that these 12 church councillors and elders were officially installed in the Evangelical Church of Cameroon, Manjo Parish in MOMO Division, littoral region of Cameroon. In the course of the installation ceremony presided over by Reverend Pastor Isaac Bikek, some recommendations were being given out to these elders. These installed elders merit to be appointed today, so we advise them to keep on working and leave aside all useless activities and concentrate on the work of God, to continue serving Him. It is not advisable to serve two masters at the same time. Among these 12 elected elders, 2 women were lifted to the rank of honorable elders, but others, due to bad conduct, were removed the title of church elders. I am very happy because I started this work since I was small. I have faith in God and He always compensates His servants. I am thankful to be alive at this age and in good health to continue serving Him. I started attending the service here since I was a child. I was baptized here and got married in this same parish, who was not even located here. But today, thanks to our effort, we got better locales. And now I am still a Christian of this community, hence contributed to my election today. The ceremony was enriched by the baptism of some children.
From one religious installation to another one, this time around here in Douala, where 8 parishioners, we are told, were elevated to the ranks of elders. Bangladesh mothers were there and described us the scene.
8 parishioners in Dunge Bang Parish of the MOMO Division has been installed, elders of the Evangelical Church of Cameroon. They were installed during a high mass that was said by a college of 7 pastors. Officiating men of God called on the new elders to faithfully serve God and to be committed to the church. These elders deserve to enter this category. We also called on them to continuously work hard, not to worry about their lives, but to turn to God, and He will provide them with all that they need. I call on the elders to serve their God, as one cannot have 2 masters. The Christians present were pleased with a sermon drawn from the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24 to 34, that says, one cannot serve 2 masters at once, calling on the Christians to avoid serving 2 masters at once. I feel so happy because I started this divine service at my youth. I have faith in God because one needs to serve God and not the world. I'm so grateful that at this age, I'm still alive. I will be 70 very soon. All we can do on this earth is to believe and have faith in God. The installation of the 8 elders culminated with the administration of the sacrament of baptism. The newly installed elders are known to have inspired other Christians who want to live a sinless life.
Save 2 masters at the time, but we have the same problem, the dichotomy here in Cameroon, where part of the country doesn't have internet, but yet we have a new system of payment, which is called the e-system, which is in force. And businessmen in Douala converge at the headquarters of GICAM to see how to sort out the complication emanating from the new payment system alleged to improve or facilitate trade, or precisely external trade. For more on the complications there, Ndi Morin.
Businessmen in Cameroon are still complaining on the electronic system to facilitate external trade, known as e-force. Though the system was put in place to arrest what they described as cumbersome procedure, many business people are still confronted with lots of difficulties.
The major challenges that we face now is how to adopt this new platform and integrate it within our already existing operations and how they are configured. it is actually a problem for us right now because it's new, and there are unexpected events that will come. We're not sure yet how this will be dealt with in the future. This population gathered here, most have come with issues related to operations, transferring funds from their banks to BSEC and getting their import declarations validated at SGS.
One of the problems raised has to do with time and cost. According to experts, with E-Force, businessmen are supposed to process and obtain documents within 2 days, but nothing seemed to have changed.
Of the time frame before, when it was just SGS without the E-Force, from the observations, the economic operators were satisfied but not at 100%. With the introduction of the E-Force, that came with the promise of reducing this time period of obtaining import licenses. It has been the inverse of that promise.
E-Force, which is an electronic system of doing business, was set up in Cameroon in the Foreign Trade Department, the Ministry of Finance, to facilitate external trade. Businessmen on March 3 converged at their headquarters, GICAM in Douala, Cameroon, to look at the complications of the E-Force system.
Where we might be asking ourselves how a country that has not gotten internet on one part of the country is struggling to become trendy, but this one, there's no doubt about it. It is that rural poor population face a lot of challenges to maintain good health. For this reason, most of them have turned to Moringa Oleifera, a medicinal plant known for its numerous healing potentials, thus saving them huge sums of money that they would have used to buy drugs. For more on this plant, Regina Forgialeke tells us how extraordinary Moringa is.
Rural poor population face challenges to maintain good health. For this reason, most have turned to Moringa Oleifera, a small, graceful and deciduous medicinal tree known for its healing potentials.
What made me to plant them, I knew it was a miracle tree. I have given people around me, they have tested. Like I have one woman, she had high blood. She came, I gave her just the tea. I gave her instruction. I told her, you drink in the morning 1 cup, in the evening 1 cup. You chew 3 seeds. She tried it. In 2 days' time,
in the southwest region of Cameroon, some farmers say this plant has helped them improve their health situations and save the sums of money they would have used to buy drugs.
Moringa has helped me when I'm in my menstrual cycle, when I'm feeling a lot of pains. I drink a little bit of Moringa and the pains will be subsided.
A local NGO in Boya says they introduce farmers to Moringa to help them save money while improving their health conditions.
The farmers were working with very low, poor communities, and as such we realize that farmers don't have means at times to go to the hospital. We have to bring in this Moringa because Moringa is highly medicinal.
Research indicates that Moringa helps to balance sugar levels, thus fighting diabetes. A compound in Moringa inhibits the growth of skin and prostate cancer cells. Moringa also helps combat rheumatism, cramp, and joint pain. This plant increases the body's natural defense mechanism, and thus it is prescribed for AIDS-afflicted persons. The growing and transformation of Moringa has also become a big business and a major source of income for some local people. It is crushed, transformed, and consumed as tea or cooked with food. And because of its many healing capacities, some have termed it miracle tree, cure-all tree, and tree of life.
Perhaps that is what the MPs for Dja and Lobo had in mind when they met the people of their constituencies and encouraged them to go back to the land, that is, encourage them to farm. We don't know whether they did encourage them to plant moringa trees because of its medicinal powers. For more, Annette Ifeti Esome.
Discouragement is one of those negative traits that characterizes stakeholders in the agricultural sector in the Dja and Lobo Division. In a bid to encourage them, a team of MPs visited the division recently. Amongst the MPs was the Minister of Economy, Louis Paul Mutazi. The members of parliament visited some different agro-industries that transform palm oil, rubber, cocoa, fruits, amongst others. They equally visited the vocational training center where farm machines are repaired, and the interstate university where one of the subjects being taught is agronomy. The august guest equally handed out some 100 spraying machines to young farmers in this part of the country. The Minister of Economy, who equally doubles as the spokesperson of Dja and Lobo elites, assured young farmers in this part of the country that they will take care of them henceforth. He further promised that very soon the tarring of the Sangmilima Jum, Congo, and Sangmilima Ovang, Gabon frontier roads will help them sell their produce. Another promise made is a cassava transformation plant. All has been put in place in the agricultural sector, according to the MPs, for emergence to hit these parts of the country by 2035.
We're leaving the shores of Cameroon to South Africa and the United States. In South Africa, there is trouble in that country as the biggest trade union says enough is enough for Mr. Jacob Zuma, while in the United States, Trump's government is withdrawing funding from the United Population Fund, and in the Middle East, in Syria, clerics are treating survivors targeted by aircraft or anti-aircraft rockets. The compilation is done courtesy Annette Ifeti Isome.
South Africa's biggest trade union, which is allied to the ruling ANC party, has called on President Jacob Zuma to step down. After its Central Executive Committee meeting, the Congress of South African Trade Unions says it no longer believes Mr. Zuma is the right person to lead the tripartite alliance. COSATU added that time has arrived for President Zuma to step down and allow the country to be led by a new collective. Since the midnight cabinet reshuffle, Jacob Zuma is under high pressure from some high-profile people and groups in South Africa asking him to resign. The U.S. says it is withdrawing fundings from the United Nations Population Fund, an agency that promotes family planning in more than 150 countries. The agency is accused of supporting a program of involuntary sterilization in India. Claims the agency has terms erroneous, adding that it does not break any U.S. laws. Some $32.5 million in the fund will be withdrawn for the 2017 financial year. The U.S. is the fourth largest donor. Theresa May has defended her trip to Saudi Arabia, saying its ties with UK are important for security and prosperity. The Prime Minister is facing questions about the UK's support for the Saudi-led coalition which is fighting rebels in neighboring Yemen. While Labour Party officials say UK-made weapons are contributing towards a humanitarian catastrophe, the Prime Minister argues the UK is also a significant donor of aid. And humanitarian aid is one of the issues she would be discussing. At least 58 people have been killed and dozens wounded in a suspected chemical attack on a rebel-held town in northwestern Syria. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says strikes by Syrian government or Russian jets had caused many people to choke. Aircraft have even fired rockets at local clinics, treating survivors, medics and activists. The Syrian government has repeatedly denied using chemical weapons.
It is on that note, a thorough note by Annette Ifeti Some, that we are running off our news today at 4 here at Canal de English. Please do not go away. Stay tuned to programs on Canal de English. Coming up will be Obosi with Cletus the Senator, and at 8 here will be standing Henry Kejang Atembe. Tomorrow is another day, God willing.